While playing a ring toss game, I accidentally tossed a ring right onto the campus belle who was watching the fun. Cringing so hard my toes curled, I threw another ring, and it landed on the orange cat in her arms. Stall owner teased, "Hey kid, got your eye on the pretty lady, huh? Anything here today? If you ring it, you take it." Blushing, the campus belle shoved the cat into my arms. "You can take the cat, but not the person." Who knew that later? She would grit her teeth, throw out the orange cat hogging my bed, and say, "You caught me first. Tell this little shit to get lost." "I'm yours?" During the Spring Festival Temple Fair, the ring toss stall was packed tight. It was full of young guys just there to ogle the pretty girl. I squeezed in to see what the fuss was about. At a glance, I spotted the campus belle, Bai Ningbing. She was leaning lazily against the railing, holding a big orange cat in her arms. With a casual toss, the bamboo ring landed perfectly. She didn't miss a single one. Every time she scored, the crowd erupted in cheers. Seeing the plastic bag at her feet, already stuffed with prizes, the stall owner grabbed her hand with a bitter face. "Beautiful. Please, have mercy on me. I bought 50 rings, and I've only thrown 20. It's fine, I'll refund you for the rest." Seeing Bai Ningbing stay silent, he put on an apologetic smile. "It's just that. You gotta leave some game experience for the others, right?" Saying that, his beady eyes darted around and locked right onto me. Like that handsome guy over there has been watching for ages, definitely itching to play. Why don't you let him have a turn? As soon as he said that, Bai Ningbing slowly turned her head, her gaze landing on me. Our eyes met. I subconsciously took a half step back, for pretending not to see the stall owner's pleading look. "You go ahead? I'm not playing?" Bai Ningbing let out a soft chuckle and shoved her handful of bamboo rings right in front of me. My treat. With that, she strolled to the side, hugging her big orange cat, under everyone's watchful eyes. I couldn't just publicly reject the campus belle's offer, so I bit the bullet and threw the first ring. Missed. The second ring
landed perfectly on Bai Ningbing's
prize bag by her feet. The third ring, dead center, hooked right onto the neck of the orange cat in Bai Ningbing's arms. The fourth ring flew straight onto Bai Ningbing's head. It didn't even go all the way down, just got stuck in her hair. I gulped guiltily and reached out to grab the ring. If I said I really didn't mean to, would you believe me? I don't know if Bai Ningbing believed me, but the jeering crowd around us definitely didn't. Someone in the crowd, I don't know who, yelled at the top of their lungs, "If you ring it, you take it." The crowd, loving the drama, immediately started chanting in unison, "Take her home." "Nice aim, bro. I bet you were aiming for the pretty lady all along. Take her." My ears burned with embarrassment. I didn't even dare to meet Bai Ningbing's eyes. "Take this thing off me, right away." I frantically pulled the bamboo ring off her head. The next second, a fluffy ball was shoved into my arms. I looked down. Bai Ningbing's orange cat was staring at me with wide, bewildered eyes. Bai Ningbing casually twirled a bamboo ring in her hand, a beautiful smirk playing on her lips. "You can take the cat, but the person is off limits." I choked and started coughing, nodding frantically. Of course. Totally understand." As soon as I said that, I wanted to slap myself. Understand my ass. Is it even my place to understand? Bai Ningbing didn't tease me anymore. I piled up all the little trinkets I'd won right at her feet and turned to leave without hesitation. The orange cat in my arms watched its owner's heartless retreating back and let out a string of tragic, ear-piercing meows.
Those meows.
Even a grown man like me felt like it was swearing up a storm. When I got home, my mom was playing mahjong. While she wasn't looking, I zipped up my jacket, hid the cat in my coat, and sneaked back into my room.
Your mom didn't actually
abandon you, did she? I worriedly rubbed the orange cat's big head. If my mom caught us, she'd definitely kick both me and the cat out onto the street. This orange cat was a smart one, though. Sensing it was living under someone else's roof, it immediately dropped the street, cursing attitude. It started meowing in a sweet, high-pitched voice, rubbing its fluffy head relentlessly against my palm. All right, don't worry. I definitely won't let you end up on the streets." I pulled out my phone and asked around in the class group chat, but surprisingly, no one had Bai Ningbing's WeChat, with no other options. I had to try my luck on the school's confession wall. Don't ask why. In our crappy school, the confession wall is the only thing that gets traffic. As a result, the entire school forum blew up that day. The first brave soul of the year to confess to the ice-cold campus belle has been born. Just as everyone grabbed their popcorn and waited for Bai Ningbing to hand out a friend zone card in the comments, the queen herself replied with just 2 words, "DM me." Now, every gossip group in the school was boiling over. I was dumbfounded too, because right after accepting Bai Ningbing's friend request, the very first message she sent was, "If you like me, why didn't you just say it to my face the other day?" I was full of question marks. Who do I like? When did this happen?
What was I supposed to say to her face?
I frantically ruffled the orange cat's fur, hurrying to type out an explanation. "Hi, I'm Fang Yuan. I couldn't find your contact info anywhere, so I had to resort to this."
When are you planning to take your cat back?
As soon as the message was sent, the status at the bottom of the chat instantly changed to typing. And that typing Lasted for a solid half hour. I stared at the screen until my eyes watered. Since you caught it, it's yours.
Why did that sound so easy to misunderstand?
I coughed awkwardly. This was getting awkward. But my mom doesn't really like furry animals. I Ningbing replied with an ellipsis. A moment later, she sent another message. I'll come pick it up in a couple of days. I finally breathed a sigh of relief. No problem. No problem. I'll treat it like royalty for the next few days. And get it nice and chubby for you. By the way, what's the cat's name? After a long while, Bai Ningbing sent a voice message.
Just 2 seconds long.
Casually tapped it. Fang Yuan. The cat's name is Fang Yuan. My eyes widened in shock. Refusing to believe it, I long pressed to convert speech to text. It couldn't be a coincidence, right? I share a name with the campus bell's cat. Maybe it's just a homophone. I must have misheard. I didn't dare bring up the confession wall incident again. I flopped onto my bed. The orange cat, Fang Yuan, shamelessly jumped up and plopped its heavy butt right on my stomach. Holy crap. Did you grow up eating lead weights?
You're crushing me.
During the new year, we had a lot of relatives over. I hid the orange cat in my room for 2 days. And my mom didn't notice a thing. I found an old shoebox, poured some rice in it to act as a makeshift litter box. This cat was the type that was happy as long as it had food. Not a picky eater at all. Its only bad habit was burrowing into my covers in the middle of the night. It was like a little space heater, making me sweat buckets. Late that night, I woke up thirsty and got up to find some water. I went to open the window for some fresh air, only to spot a dark figure crouching on the balcony.
What the F?
I jumped in fright. Stumbling back 2 steps, I grabbed a coat hanger from the corner, ready to fight. But my wrist was suddenly grabbed. It's me.
Why didn't you turn on the light?
Why would I turn on the light in the middle of the night? Who expects someone to climb through their window at this hour? Are you decent?
Yes.
What exactly are you trying to do?
As soon as I spoke, Bai Ningbing pushed off with both hands and vaulted agilely into the room. She was exactly like that orange cat climbing into my bed at midnight, cut from the same cloth. She didn't make a single sound when she landed.
Where's the cat?
I turned around and locked my bedroom door, then clicked on the bedside nightlight. I gestured toward the bed with my chin. Bai Ningbing walked over and threw off the covers. The orange cat shivered, half asleep, lazily glanced at her, then immediately closed its eyes, played dead, and went back to sleep. She laughed in exasperation at the cat's reaction. It seems to be living the good life here with you. It has a good appetite, easy to keep alive. Are you really going to climb back out the window, carrying a cat this big? Bai Ningbing didn't say a word. She just reached out and grabbed the orange cat by the scruff of its neck. The orange cat instantly threw a fit, kicking its 4 legs wildly and meowing at me pitifully. Behave. Whether you're with your dad or your mom, isn't it all the same? It's not like you're going to starve. Dad, Mom. I rubbed my nose awkwardly, swallowing the words I was about to say. I couldn't even touch that comment, but Bai Ningbing didn't seem to plan on letting me off the hook that easily. Fang Yuan.
Yeah.
I answered instinctively, then realized she might have been calling the cat. I quickly looked away in guilt. You've taken good care of Fang Yuan. Thanks. I waved it off. It was nothing, but Bai Ningbing's lips curled up slightly. I told you before, whatever you ring is yours. Now that I'm taking the cat back, why don't you pick something else for me to take instead? Bai Ningbing looked at me with a half smile, while the orange cat in my arms meowed along, adding to the chaos. My brain completely short-circuited. I walked straight over and snatched the cat right back out of her arms. Never mind. I think I'd rather keep the cat. The smile on Bai Ningbing's face instantly vanished. Her eyes screamed, unbelievable. I can't even compete with a fat cat. I kept my head down, frantically petting the cat, too scared to look up. Bai Ningbing let out a cold himph, swiftly grabbed the fat cat back, and cleanly vaulted back over the balcony. I rushed to the window to look down. Thank God I live on the first floor. Otherwise, if she got hurt, I'd be on the hook for her medical bills. After locking the doors and windows again, I turned off the light and got back into bed. Couldn't shake the feeling that the room still lingered with Bai Ningbing's scent. As soon as that thought popped up, I immediately shook my head. It felt like I was losing my mind. But Bai Ningbing seemed to be wearing perfume tonight. It was a crisp citrus, mixed with a hint of mint. It smelled incredibly refreshing. Great. Now I was completely an insomniac. The next day, I walked out of my bedroom with dark circles under my eyes, only to be surprised that my mom and her friends were still fighting their all-night mahjong battle. I strolled over behind my mom with my hands behind my back and let out a huge yawn. Mom, if you play that 8 of characters, you'll win. My mom turned and glared at me fiercely. What the hell do you know? I'm holding out for a flush. I gave a half-hearted slow clap, but my mom narrowed her eyes suspiciously. Fang Yuan, were you out stealing last night? I remember you went to bed early.
Why do you look so exhausted?
I coughed guiltily and immediately deflected. It's because you guys were playing mahjong too loudly. It was so noisy I couldn't sleep at all. My mom scoffed. You better be telling the truth. If I find out you were up to no good in the middle of the night, I'll take the 8 of characters. Mahjong. I was speechless. Who was the one swearing just a second ago that they were going for a flush? I was just about to slip back to my room to catch up on sleep. When I walked past Auntie Zhang, without even looking up, she casually complimented, "Oh my, Fang Yuan has grown up and knows how to groom himself now. What kind of perfume are you wearing? It smells really nice."
Swish.
My mom and the other two aunties at the table instantly locked onto me like searchlights. I feigned composure, lifting my sleeve to sniff it. A smell. It's probably the new body wash I used last night.
Why would a grown man like me wear perfume?
Auntie Zhang didn't press the issue. Well, that body wash smells pretty. High-end. I gave a dry laugh and brushed it off, then sprinted back to my bedroom at top speed. I threw open the window to frantically air out the room. What brand of perfume does Bai Ningbing use anyway? The lasting power is absolutely ridiculous. It's making even a guy like me want to buy a bottle. As I was pondering this, my hand slipped and I played her voice message again. I have to admit, the campus belle's cool, lazy voice really had a certain charm to it. I was listening intently, and I looked up and locked eyes with a pair of round cat eyes. I froze. I had just pushed open the screen window, and this orange cat swaggered right in. It landed with an incredibly clingy meow.
Why did you run back here?
Where's your mom?
I scooped up the cat, frantically turning off my phone screen. I felt the embarrassment of being caught red-handed. The orange cat lay on its back in my arms, comfortably enjoying my exclusive massage technique. Hearing me mention its mom, it flicked its tail in disgust and simply closed its eyes. I was speechless.
You little ingrate.
Whoever feeds you is the boss, huh? I was just planning to text Bai Ningbing to come pick up the cat, and the window glass was suddenly tapped. This cat is exactly like its owner, ignoring the perfectly good front door, insisting on climbing through the window. I secretly sniffed through the glass. Sure enough, it was that familiar citrus and mint scent.
What are you spacing out for?
She tapped the glass again, right in front of my forehead. Did Fang Yuan run over to your place again? I opened the window to let her in. As soon as the orange cat saw Bai Ningbing, it darted away and hid in the makeshift litter box, refusing to show its head. Bai Ningbing sighed helplessly. This morning, it caught me feeding some stray cats downstairs. The little thing got jealous, threw a tantrum, and ran away from home. Sure enough, on Bai Ningbing's black
Jacket. I sharply spotted a tuft
of white fur that clearly didn't belong to an orange cat. Seeing this, the orange cat rubbed against my leg pitifully. Meow. I quickly bent down and picked it up.
Ah, you've been so wronged.
Meow.
Your mom is such a player.
How could she mess around with other cats outside? It's simply morally bankrupt. Meow.
Exactly.
Bai Ningbing couldn't hold back a soft laugh. The orange cat and I turned our heads in unison to look at her. Sorry. I just suddenly felt like this scene looks awfully familiar. My intuition told me that nothing good was about to come out of her mouth. I asked warily, "What scene?" Bai Ningbing reached out her slender finger and accurately flicked the orange cat on the forehead. Flick. A loving father and a dutiful son. Damn it.
You're the cat's mom?
And I'm the cat's dad. Aren't you just taking advantage of me in a roundabout way? I was screaming internally, but kept a deadpan face and stayed silent. Hurry up and take your cheating evidence and leave. I need to catch up on sleep. Bai Ningbing reached out to take the cat, asking seemingly casually, "Didn't sleep well last night. Was it because of me seeing her hand about to touch the cat?" I instinctively hugged the cat tighter, raising my voice to cover my tracks. Don't flatter yourself. It was because my mom and her friends were playing mahjong too loudly. Stop overthinking it, okay? If you say so. Bai Ningbing had a teasing smirk on her lips. Then handsome. Can you give me my cat back now? I realized that every time I faced off against Bai Ningbing, I always ended up losing. I was just about to let go, but the orange cat was extremely rebellious. It violently broke free from my arms, darted straight onto my bed, and with a swipe of its tail, accurately knocked my phone onto the floor. Bai Ningbing bent down to pick it up. My crappy phone, which didn't have a passcode, somehow lit up and unlocked from the impact. She glanced at the screen and raised an eyebrow. Immediately after, the phone played that familiar voice message out loud. Fang Yuan. The cat's name is Fang Yuan. My heart
sank.
I reached out to grab it, but she took the opportunity to hold the phone high. Fang Yuan, first you try so hard to win me over, and now you're secretly listening to my voice messages in the middle of the night. Don't tell me you have a crush on me. I reached up and snatched the phone back. I didn't need a mirror to know, and my ears were definitely burning red right now. Bai Ningbing leaned against the wall with her arms crossed, looking completely unbothered, clearly waiting for my excuses. After holding it in for a long time, I finally squeezed out a few dry words. Actually, knock. Knock, knock. The bedroom door was suddenly pounded on. My mom yelled at the top of her lungs from outside. Fang Yuan.
Why is your door locked in broad daylight?
Auntie Zhang and the others are leaving. Get your ass out here and see them off. That roar was my saving grace. I yelled back, coming, while swiftly grabbing the orange cat and roughly shoving it into Bai Ningbing's arms. Hurry up and leave. Quick, quick, quick. If my mom catches you here, I won't be able to explain this even if I jumped into the Yellow River. Bei Ningbing was very cooperative, stepping onto the windowsill. Before jumping down, she lowered her voice and teased Fang Yuan. Don't you think the way we are right now feels a lot like we're having an affair? I was absolutely shell-shocked by that comment. I gritted my teeth and growled, "Get lost," kicked out my leg, and shoved the makeshift litter box under the bed. I ruffled my hair, putting on a groggy, just woke up look, and opened the door.
Mom.
I was fast asleep. My mom's piercing eyes scanned the bedroom and finally locked onto me.
Why does your room
Smell even stronger than before. I almost coughed up blood. I quickly pushed her by the shoulders out the door. Hurry up and see the aunties off.
What smell?
It's definitely just the body wash lingering. After finally seeing off her mahjong buddies, I exhaustedly threw myself back onto the bed. I picked up my phone and saw Bai Ningbing had sent several voice messages. Fang Yuan, this little ingrate, started scratching at the door to get out as soon as we got home. It probably wants to go back to you. Fang Yuan, can your family adopt it? It seems it really doesn't want to stay with me anymore. Following that were several short, 1 to 2 second voice clips. All of them the orange cat's tragic, ear-piercing howls. Bai Ningbing also attached a high-res photo. The orange cat was clinging to the doorframe, scratching at the door pitifully, looking at its goofy face. I actually felt a bit bad for it. I hesitated, then replied, "But my mom hates having pets in the house." Bai Ningbing immediately offered a plan. Make up a really tragic backstory for this fat cat. Older people always fall for that. She'll definitely soften up. Now she wasn't calling it Fang Yuan every other sentence. I sighed in resignation and replied, "All right, I'll give it my best shot." After hyping myself up, I started under Bai Ningbing's remote guidance to tailor-make a tragic, heart-wrenching backstory for the orange cat. Bai Ningbing was still coming up with terrible ideas. Should I use Photoshop to make it look skinnier? It's as fat as a ball right now. Will your mom even believe it? Quickly type to stop her. Don't you dare starve it. Leave this to me. I have plenty of experience dealing with my mom. In the chat box, a voice message of the orange cat meowing immediately popped up. In response, I took a deep breath, frantically reviewing my prepared lines in my head. Then, putting on a look of utter heartbreak, I burst into my mom's bedroom. "It's too tragic. It's just too tragic, Mom." My mom didn't even look up. She casually grabbed a feather duster and threw it at me. "It's the new year. What are you wailing about? Are you looking for a beating?" Now, I didn't even need to fake it. Genuine tears welled up in my eyes.
Mom, you misunderstand.
I'm talking about this cat. I quickly handed over the photo Bai Ningbing had photoshopped to make the orange cat look like skin and bones. A buddy of mine found it on the side of the road, but his dorm absolutely won't let him keep it. This cat is super timid. In the stray community, it gets bullied and beaten up by other cats every single day. It doesn't have my good luck to have such a gentle, kind, and reasonable mother like you. It's all alone in the world. It can't even get a hot meal during the new year. So, my cutest mom in the universe, can we please have some mercy and don't even think about it? My mom ruthlessly cut off my tearful plea. Raising a deadbeat like you is exhausting enough. Keep a cat if you dare bring it home. I'll kick both of you out onto the street. I tactically leaned back. That's fine. I still have plan B.
Mom.
How about we compromise?
Let's just foster it for my buddy for a couple of days. Once he finds an adopter, well, send it away immediately.
It absolutely won't be a bother to you.
My mom let out a cold sneer. You think I don't know what kind of tricks
You're playing.
Let me tell you. No way. Don't give me that compromise crap. You need to exit my room right now. This woman, my mother, her heart is colder than the knife of a fishmonger who's been killing fish at the supermarket for 10 years. I walked out of the bedroom, dejected. Just then, I bumped into my dad coming back from outside. My eyes instantly lit up. It was like seeing a savior. Dad. My dearest dad. My dad chuckled happily and pulled a red envelope out of his pocket. This is the only New Year's money you're getting. Your old man can't afford any more. I swiftly pocketed the red envelope. So tacky. Talking about money ruins the mood. My dad instantly flipped. Then give it back. I decisively played deaf and dumb. Dad, look at the cat in this photo. So weak and lonely. Can it stay at our place? Hey, my dad suddenly interrupted me from the large plastic bag he was carrying. He pulled out a lump of orange, an absolute behemoth. Are you talking about this one? It doesn't look like the photo. This one is at least 30 pounds heavier than the one in the picture. I looked. It was the runaway fat orange cat being held by the scruff of its neck by my burly dad. It tucked its tail guiltily. I was stunned. The cat let out a desperate meow. Hearing the commotion, my mom rushed out. Standing in the hallway with her hands on her hips, she roared, "Fang Yuan, is this what you swore was skin and bones? This cat is so fat it doesn't even have a neck." Fortunately, this damn fat orange cat was a natural-born kiss-ass. In no time, it had my dad completely wrapped around its paw. With my dad's strong intervention and my shameless, relentless begging, my mom finally held her nose and agreed to let the cat stay temporarily to suppress the cat's bad luck. My mom grandly bestowed upon it the name Fa Kai. Fa Kai deeply understood the art of survival. Whenever my mom called that name, it would immediately wag its big tail and happily trot over, letting my mom pet it all over. That night, I texted Bai Ningbing, asking how the cat ended up in my dad's hands. Bai Ningbing sent a voice message. It kept scratching at the door, so I figured it'd take it downstairs for a walk. Who knew that as soon as we stepped out of the building, it went crazy and dove straight into a large grocery bag. I didn't know that was your dad at the time, and I was too embarrassed to just go up and snatch it back. So I just quietly followed him all the way and watched helplessly as he walked right into your house. Holding my phone, I laughed out loud. My dad is usually pretty oblivious. He probably just felt the plastic bag suddenly get heavier and never even thought to look down and see what had gotten inside. I quickly typed back, "That's what you call fate. A lucky accident. Saved me the trouble of sneaking it in." Bai Ningbing replied, "Yeah, can I still come to your house to see it from now on? I was its owner for a few days after all." I looked at the schedule and calculated the time. No problem. When my parents go to work on weekdays, you can come visit anytime. Bai Ningbing replied, "Okay, get some rest early.
Good night."
This last voice message was so soft, it sounded like she was speaking right into the microphone. It had a slightly husky, textured tone that inexplicably made my ears tingle, like I was possessed. I long pressed and saved the message. It definitely wasn't because I had any inappropriate thoughts about the campus belle. It was purely because her voice really sounded a bit. The next day, I slept until I naturally woke up. I grabbed my phone and found the class group chat had blown up again. Extra! The New Year's. Second brave warrior to confess to Bai Ningbing has appeared. Speaking of which, what happened to the last brave warrior? No, follow-up. I went to the same high school as Bai Ningbing. Since freshman year, the line of guys chasing her could stretch to France. Have you ever seen her give any of them the time of day? Shez always had a white moonlight in her heart. Front row selling sunflower seeds, begging for the tea. Who is this white moonlight? Same question. Who is it? Below that was a neat row of ones. Originally, seeing the group mention the confession wall, my heart skipped a beat. But seeing the words white moonlight, I instantly breathed a sigh of relief. Purely out of gossip-fueled curiosity, I clicked on the confession wall's latest update. Surprisingly, this poster wasn't anonymous. The ID was Bai Chuan. He looked like a pretty refined, scholarly guy. The post only had one incredibly arrogant sentence. Bai Ningbing. Imback. Immediately, some nosy onlookers followed the trail and dug up this Bai Chuan's profile. They took a screenshot and threw it into the group chat. The photo was taken from a boyfriend's perspective. Bai Ningbing's aesthetic vibe was maxed out. Now the group chat completely exploded. Everyone unanimously concluded that this was the legendary, official white moonlight. I stared at my phone screen. That indescribable panic in my heart suddenly settled. Before, when she wanted to name the cat Fang Yuan, I actually thought she was doing it for me. I also finally figured out
why Bai Ningbing said such
baffling things when she added me as a friend. It must be because when I posted about finding the cat, I casually added a star emoji at the end. It probably matched that white moonlight's chatting habits, making her mistake me for him. A few days later, Bai Ningbing actually gave me a voice call. I answered and asked directly, "Need something?" Bai Ningbing's voice sounded casual. "Are you home?" Im in the area thought it'd drop by to see the fat cat. I held my phone and wandered around the house. Confirmed my dad was out for a walk, and my mom was off conquering the mahjong tables again. Crisis averted. I'm the only one home. Just come on over. On the other end of the line, Bai Ningbing let out a soft, low chuckle, then promptly hung up. It took me a few seconds to realize that what I just said, combined with the current situation, sounded exactly like we were sneaking around behind my parents' backs. I slapped my forehead. Damn it, Fang Yuan. You and your big mouth. Always saying the most misleading things. I chugged half a glass of ice water. Just to cool my face down, Bai Ningbing arrived pretty quickly. I was too embarrassed to ask where she lived. Unfortunately, Fa Kai was a total snob now. It completely ignored its former owner. No matter how Bai Ningbing teased it with a cat wand, the damn fat orange cat just arrogantly turned its head away, not even giving her a single glance. Being ignored, Bai Ningbing turned to look at me. "I heard your mom gave it a new name, Fei Kai." She crouched down and forcefully scratched FAK's chin. So tacky. The old name was better. I twitched my lips, but didn't take the bait. The atmosphere instantly went cold. Fortunately, Bai Ningbing didn't stay too long. Right before she left, she pulled out an exquisitely crafted peace amulet from her pocket and handed it to me. The warm winter sun spilled over her long black hair. She absent-mindedly fiddled with the amulets.
red string.
I went to the temple a few days ago to offer the first incense. I heard this is really effective. Thanks. Sorry to make you spend money. I reached out and took it. Did you get one for yourself? Bai Ningbing waved her hand, looking completely unbothered. As long as you're safe and sound, that's enough. She casually pulled the security door shut behind her, shutting out that ray of sunlight in her silhouette. I gripped the peace amulet, my heart racing uncontrollably. It felt like a drum beating in my chest. It must be an illusion. I'm overthinking it. Definitely overthinking it. I rubbed my tight chest, turned around, and chugged another half glass of cold water. In the afternoon, class group chat started blowing up again. I clicked in to take a look. Oh boy, the third brave warrior of the new year to sacrifice themselves on the confession wall had appeared, but this time was different. It completely detonated the entire forum, because this time it was that account named Bai Chuan, publicly and high-profilely declaring his love for Bai Ningbing. Someone in the group dug up that photo of Bai Chuan again. The guy in the photo was tall and lean, with handsome, refined features, standing next to Bai Ningbing. They were the absolute standard for a campus idol drama. I casually tossed the peace amulet into my drawer. So this was the guy Shed had been waiting for all along. The afternoon sun slowly shifted. Without the sunlight, the temperature in the room dropped. I scooped up Fei Kai, who was taking a nap, and stuffed it into the warm covers. I sighed at its fat butt. I'm telling you, Fa Kai, your mom's white moonlight has returned. She probably won't have time to visit you anymore. Meow. It licked its paw, completely unbothered, and stared at me with its big round eyes. I couldn't resist, giving the fat cat's head a rough rub. Ill, go get you some meat cans tomorrow. Even if your mom forgets all about you, you can't forget your bro. As soon as it heard the word cans, Fei Kai instantly perked up. It sucked up to me, nudging its head right into my palm. From that day on, Bai Ningbing really never mentioned coming to my house to see the cat again. And Fei Kai had completely claimed my bed. It's its exclusive territory. Every night, it expertly opened the door and hopped into bed in one smooth motion. Winter break was so incredibly boring. I could only kill time by scrolling through the school forum. Out of the top 10 hottest posts on the forum, 8 of them were gossiping about Bai Ningbing and her white moonlight Bai Chuan. Someone swore up and down that they bumped into the two of them at a downtown mall. They said the guy was tall and handsome. The girl was cool and stunning, and walking together, they were a perfect match. A real-life fairy tale couple. Reading these descriptions, I suddenly got a bit curious about Bai Ningbing's past. So I clicked into the featured section of the alumni square. Oh boy, the featured section had basically become Bai Ningbing's personal biography. From middle school to college, this woman's glorious deeds had been dug up completely. Someone claiming to be her middle school classmate revealed that because Bai Ningbing was too eye-catching, she was ostracized by the other girls in middle school. That's why her personality was always so aloof. She was a loner. If anyone messed with her, she'd clap right back. As for college, it was simple, purely because her face was just too top tier. She was beautiful, with an ethereal, cool aura. She absolutely killed it with both guys and girls. I reached out and pinched Fake's chubby cheeks. Your mom is a real legend at school. Of course, I didn't believe all the online gossip, but after reading these posts, I came to one solid conclusion. Bai Ningbing and that Bai Chuan really were a perfect match. As for me, I irritably pulled the covers over my head.
Why am I even thinking about this?
Bai Ningbing and I are, at best, just cat friends. Barely even regular friends. I must have too much free time to be moping around like this. Another week of mundane days passed. Aside from F8's high, this pig cat gaining another 2 pounds. My vacation was like a pool of stagnant water. Going stir-crazy at home. I just bought a movie ticket on my phone planning to go see a Spring Festival comedy by myself. Before the movie started, I ran to the concession stand to line up for popcorn. By the time I got my popcorn and got my ticket checked, the movie had already started. It was pitch black inside the theater. I had to hunch over, feeling my way up the stairs to find my seat in the back row. As I passed a seat by the aisle, I accidentally tripped over a pair of long legs sticking out. Just as I thought, I was about to perform a public faceplant in the theater. A slightly cool hand firmly grabbed my arm. I had just steadied my feet and said thanks, and I turned my head and locked eyes with Bai Ningbing's surprised gaze.
Why are you watching a movie alone, too?
I sharply caught the keyword, too. I glanced at the empty seat next to her. I didn't see the legendary white moonlight. Bai Chuan, your white moonlight didn't come with you. Bai Ningbing raised an eyebrow. I asked you first? I lowered my voice. Duh. I'm a single guy. If I don't come alone, am I supposed to hire someone to watch it with me? The movie soon reached its climax. Bai Ningbing pointed at the big screen, dropping the subject. To be fair, the movie was genuinely funny. But sitting next to Bai Ningbing, that familiar scent was absolutely pervasive. It was still that crisp citrus and mint fragrance. It wasn't overpowering, but it hooked into my nose relentlessly. If I even slightly turned my head, the scent became even clearer, until an older guy in our row got up to use the restroom. Bai Ningbing suddenly leaned in and whispered in my ear. I wanted to ask you last time,
Why is it that whenever you see me,
you like to sniff around like a dog? I thought I was being subtle, but I got called out right on the spot. My face instantly flushed beet red. Does Bai Ningbing think I have some sort of creepy fetish? I mean, what normal male college student stares and aggressively sniffs someone else's scent? I could only bite the bullet and try to save face. You're overthinking it. I just think your perfume smells really nice. I wanted to ask what brand it is so I can buy a bottle for myself. That explanation just made things worse. Hearing this, Bai Ningbing let out a soft chuckle. She didn't tell me the name of the perfume, just turned her head back to the movie. For the rest of the movie, I was sitting on pins and needles. I finally made it to the end of the movie. I didn't even catch what the ending was. I stood up, ready to bolt, but Bai Ningbing called out from behind me. Miss Yu. I froze in place.
What?
She looked at me, her eyes bright. The perfume is called Miss Yu. The theater lights suddenly flicked on. I hurriedly dropped a thanks and blended into the exiting crowd like a thief, fleeing the scene. I got home like an absolute idiot. I actually searched for a perfume called Miss Yu and found absolutely nothing. I scoured Taobao and JD and finally even resorted to Baidu. There was no citrus and mint perfume on the market with that name. Bai Ningbing had just made it up to trick me. But what was her goal? I held my phone, hesitating for a long time, and finally deleted the confrontation I had typed out.
What if she just remembered the name wrong?
What if she just didn't want to tell me and threw out a random name to brush me off? Interrogating her about it would just make me look petty. I was frustrated and confused, so I took all my pent-up energy out on Fei Kai, frantically rubbing its fat body. My dad came home from work, looked at Fei Kai, who I had rubbed into a frizzy furball, and ruthlessly mocked. Fei Kai got a new hairstyle today. I guiltily smoothed Fei Kai's fur back down. My dad walked over and slapped 2 amusement park tickets into my hand. A friend gave them to me. Stop rotting at home all day. Find a classmate and go get some fresh air. I completely ignored his wildly hinting eyes and looked over the tickets in my hand. Hilarious. 2 grown men going to an amusement park. That's a picture I don't want to see. I decisively opened a secondhand trading app and immediately listed the tickets for sale. In less than 2 minutes, someone bought them. Since they were scannable e-tickets, I just sent the QR code screenshots straight to the buyer. The other party was very polite, replying with a rose emoji. 2 days later, Bai Ningbing suddenly sent me a voice message. Are you free tomorrow? Want to go to the amusement park together? My eyelid twitched. An ominous feeling welled up inside me. Don't tell me you're planning to go to Happy Valley. Bai Ningbing replied instantly.
Spot on.
With trembling hands, I clicked on the profile of the buyer who snapped up my tickets. The profile said, female, local, height, 172 centimeters, case closed. This was definitely Bai Ningbing's alt account. Women are natural-born liars, but when it comes to height, they absolutely never lie. When tall girls fill out their profiles, they want to bold and highlight their height in red. There is no way they'd leave it blank. What does this make me? Making money without breaking a sweat. Not only did I get free money for the tickets, but I also get to go to the amusement park for free. And I even get a date with the campus belle out of it. Even though this was a great deal, I still had a shred of rationality left. I righteously rejected Bai Ningbing's invitation, and putting on the persona of an agony aunt, I earnestly advised an amusement park is the kind of place you should be taking that Bai Chuan you've been pining for. Not me. Bai Ningbing replied almost instantly.
Who told you Bai Chuan is my boyfriend?
Thump. Thump.
I swear, my heartbeat was so loud right then it could have woken the neighbors. I swallowed hard and continued to play dead. Don't play dumb with me. The whole school knows Bai Chuan is your
White moonlight.
Bai Ningbing seemed to laugh out of sheer anger. Her voice message had a bit of noisy background sound. Last time when I climbed out your window to leave, I clearly asked if you liked me. And you still haven't given me a straight answer.
How am I supposed to respond to that?
Is Bai Ningbing actually some kind of player? Her official White Moonlight just made a high-profile return. And now she's still coming over here to flirt with me. I rubbed the edge of my phone case hard, gritted my teeth, and sent a harsh reply. Since your White Moonlight already posted to claim his territory, he is someone who's taken. You'd better keep your distance from other guys. I thought that sounded pretty firm and righteous. But Bai Ningbing immediately fired back with a video call. It scared the crap out of me. My fingers slipped, and I accidentally hit accept. The screen shook for a second. Right after that, a face wearing gold-rimmed glasses appeared on the screen, looking exactly like a classic elegant scumbag. Hello there, brother Fang Yuan. Let me introduce myself. My name is Bai Chuan. Without a doubt, this was the guy from the forums. The rumored official White Moonlight everyone was buzzing about. But that name, as long as your brain isn't full of water, anyone could tell they were definitely related. I stared at the screen, stunned for 2 seconds, before tentatively asking, excuse me for asking, but are you and Bai Ningbing siblings? Bai Chuan pushed up his glasses and smiled like a gentle spring breeze. Sister and brother. No. Her older brother. Suddenly, a hand reached in from off-screen and snatched the phone. Bai Ningbing's face, looking somewhat annoyed, appeared in the frame. We're just twins. Don't listen to him showing off. Bai Chuan let out a highly punchable laugh in the background. My heart, which had been on a roller coaster, going up and down, finally settled back into my chest. Your name is Feng Yuan, right? Bai Chuan's face squeezed back into the frame. My unlucky sister here has probably caused you a lot of trouble, huh? I apologize on her behalf, but man, I'm a straight shooter. So Il just asked directly, would you be willing to date my sister with the intention of marriage? I was petrified on the spot. My mouth hung open, and I let out a dumb, dry ah. Bai Ningbing immediately pulled the phone away, but her voice came through clearly. She hissed in a low voice, Are you sick in the head? Don't scare him away. No, seriously, lady. Shouldn't you first object to the absurd idea of marriage? Your reaction is making me panic even more. Bai Beichuan's self-righteous voice drifted over. Do you know anything about psychology? It's called the door-in-the-face technique. First, you throw out an outrageous and difficult request like marriage. Then you step back and just ask him to be your boyfriend. Contrast makes all the difference. That way, hell feel like just dating. Isn't such a hard thing to accept.
Oh, what a logical genius.
I was completely speechless. I weakly chimed in toward the phone.
Hey.
I can actually hear every word you guys are saying. The siblings on the video instantly went dead silent. Bai Ningbing steadied the phone again. Looking straight at me through the screen, the tips of her ears suspiciously red. Are you coming to the amusement park tomorrow or not? I have some things I want to tell you in person. After saying that, her gaze suddenly shifted past me, landing right behind me. On Fakai, who was sleeping sprawled out on his back.
Why is this pig cat
Lounging on your bed again.
I instinctively shielded Fasai's fat head. If he doesn't sleep on the bed, where else is he supposed to sleep? Besides, it's freezing out. Hez, basically a natural heating pad. Bai Ningbing narrowed her eyes dangerously. You were both won by your ring toss. Isn't your double standard a bit too obvious? I confidently threw her own words back at her. Lady, you said it yourself. The cat can be mine, but the person can't. From the other end of the phone, I could faintly hear Bai Beichuan's muffled, gloating laughter. Bai Ningbing took a deep breath, her eyes turning highly aggressive, and she spat out through gritted teeth. I take it back. Tell that fat cat to get lost tomorrow. Yours? Sunday at the amusement park was sunny, but the sub-zero biting wind was enough to make anyone question their life choices.
wearing a thick padded jacket?
I had barely stepped out of my building before the freezing northwest wind blasted me, making me want to turn right back around. When I showed up bundled up like a bear, eat the amusement park entrance right on time, I found Bai Ningbing actually wearing just a thin, long black woolen coat. With sheer fleece-lined tights underneath, she looked completely out of place among the sea of puffer jackets. I frowned and walked over.
Bai Ningbing.
Are you choosing fashion over warmth? Aren't you freezing? She stubbornly pursed, her lips, which were already turning a bit purple from the cold. Fine.
I can handle it.
We turned and walked toward the ticket gates. A gust of wind blew past, and Bai Ningbing couldn't hold it back, letting out a loud, completely unglamorous sneeze. I looked at her, speechless. You call this handling it? Don't end up in the hospital on an IV drip just for a date. Honestly, I really couldn't understand the thought process of coming to play outdoor amusement park rides in the dead of winter. Riding a roller coaster in this weather. You'd probably come down looking like an ice sculpture exhibit. Yet, Bai Ningbing, courting death, pointed at the roller coaster tracks in the distance. Want to challenge that one? My face darkened. Am I risking my life for a date? Do you think you've lived too long? Or do you think the wind isn't strong enough? After my silent rejection, Bai Ningbing looked visibly disappointed. Then what are you interested in? The pendulum ride, the pirate ship, or the drop tower, the carousel? I cut off her suicidal menu of rides with a deadpan look. I just want to ride this today. No duh, in the entire amusement park. This was the only ride indoors with heating. In the end, Bai Ningbing and I each rode a plastic white horse, surrounded by the screams of a bunch of little kids. I pulled out my phone and secretly snapped an incredibly awkward selfie of us because Bai Ningbing was so tall. Her long legs had nowhere to go, awkwardly dangling on both sides of the horse. The whole scene looked pretty pathetic, even though the indoor heating was great, and I really wanted to stay a bit longer. To consider her feelings, I dragged her along to ride the spinning teacups next door, which were also indoors. Over the course of the morning, we went through every mild indoor ride available. While I went to buy water, Bai Ningbing handed me a double scoop ice cream. Did you have fun today? I took the ice cream and thanked her. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Are you not having fun? She lowered her eyes, staring at her toes. I am, but it feels like something's missing. I took a big bite of the ice cream.
Why? Did the cold freeze your brain? No.
She looked up, gazing resentfully at the outdoor roller coaster. I did so much research before coming here. The original plan was to take you on the roller coaster, the pirate ship, and the haunted house, all the thrilling rides. That way, when I got scared, you could naturally protect me and show off your boyfriend appeal. She paused, then added unwillingly, at the very least, I have to prove that I'm more lovable than that fat cat, who does nothing but eat and sleep, right? My eyes widened in shock.
What the hell kind of?
Old school domineering CEO romance script is this. But seeing Bai Ningbing's serious, self-reflecting expression, I inexplicably found this gap mo kind of hilarious. Seeing that I hadn't said anything for a while, Bai Ningbing twitched her lips in frustration. Sorry. Was my plan too much of a buzzkill? How about we go ride?
Ride the Ferris wheel.
We both said it at the exact same time. As soon as the words left our mouths, if afraid, it'd run away halfway. She grabbed the sleeve of my puffer jacket and dragged me toward the Ferris wheel. Suspended Ferris wheel cabin swayed slightly in the cold wind. As the Ferris wheel slowly reached its highest point, I couldn't help but glance down. and immediately felt my calves cramp up. Fang Yuan, do you know?
Why so many people like to confess their love?
On a Ferris wheel, Bai Ningbing suddenly broke the silence from across from me. My brain didn't quite process it, because it's romantic, duh.
Why else?
She raised her hand, pointing out the window at the 100-meter drop. From a psychological perspective, when facing fear-inducing elements like extreme heights, the body instinctively secretes a large amount of adrenaline. This physiological reaction triggered by fear is easily misinterpreted by the brain as other emotions, like infatuation, excitement, or butterflies in the stomach. So, a large number of people, under the catalyst of the suspension bridge effect, will mistake this physical thrill for love. It suddenly dawned on me. So, that's why you were dead set on dragging me to the roller coaster and the haunted house earlier.
You were plotting this all along.
Bai Ningbing nodded frankly. My methods were too cheap. I shouldn't always try to take shortcuts and play tricks. I actually think your theory is flawed. I leaned close to the fogged-up glass and casually drew a circle with my finger. Environmental factors definitely affect a person's judgment, but I think this kind of special atmosphere doesn't necessarily give people an illusion. It's more likely that it gives them the courage to speak up. People who successfully confess on a Ferris wheel definitely aren't just doing it because they're blinded by adrenaline. They must have already made their decision in their hearts before even getting on. All they lacked was that final push of courage. Bai Ningbing stared blankly at me, not saying a word for a long time. When a wicked gust of wind made the cabin sway slightly again, she suddenly reached out and tightly grabbed my hand. I've never lacked the courage to confess. I was just afraid that being too direct would scare you away. Fang Yuan, be my boyfriend. Okay, what's so scary about being confessed to? But then I thought about it. If an aloof campus belle, who usually has absolutely nothing to do with you, suddenly runs up and confesses to you, anyone would feel like they were dreaming. Bai Ningbing's beautiful eyes clearly reflected my image. But what exactly do you want from me? I couldn't help but voice the doubt in my mind. Her grip on my hand loosened slightly. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. I stared at her. Is this question really that hard to answer? Or is making fun of me just another one of your holiday entertainment activities? I didn't want to use such dark thoughts to speculate about the campus belle, but the intense enthusiasm she showed me, and all those flirting tactics, just came too suddenly and made zero logical sense. I admit, I definitely have a bit of a crush on her face, but as a grown man, I can't just see a beautiful woman digging a pit and jump in with my eyes closed, right? The Ferris wheel completed a full rotation and slowly came to a stop on the ground. I sighed, taking the initiative to back down. There is no rush for this. Why don't you go back and weigh your options carefully? Give me an answer once you've thought it through. Just a minute ago, she was boasting about not lacking courage, and now she's completely misfired.
Women's mouths.
Deceitful ghosts. I turned and stepped out of the cabin, before my foot even hit the ground. Bai Ningbing grabbed my wrist again. Gone was her usual effortless composure. Her tone carried a rare hint of urgency. I found the cat on purpose. I made up the cat's name on the spot. That day at the ring toss, I caught it with my head on purpose. But I've had a crush on you for a long time.
Bai Ningbing and I
sat side by side on a bench in the indoor rest area. In the past, didn't you often run over to the pavilion at the old campus to feed the stray cats? I bumped into you there by chance a few times. Bai Ningbing spoke very slowly. After running into you so many times, every time I passed by there later on, I would subconsciously stop and look to see if you were there. One time, while trying to catch a little orange kitten running around, you crashed headfirst right into me.
You looked like an idiot back then.
Staring at me for ages, with your ears completely red. From that moment on, I wondered, does this guy have feelings for me? Be completely honest. If this slightly narcissistic speech had been said by someone even slightly less attractive, I absolutely would have cringed so hard. My toes could have dug a magical castle into the floor. But in our school, people secretly in love with Bai Ningbing could literally line up from the south gate all the way to the north gate. But I swear to God, at that time, I was definitely just stunned by her looks for a second. It was purely out of appreciation for something beautiful. Bai Ningbing gave a somewhat self-deprecating smile. Later, when winter came and the temperature dropped, the stray cats all ran to the basement to escape the cold, and you stopped going to the pavilion as much. But I still acted like I was possessed, wandering over there on time every single day, just hoping to bump into you one more time. Day after day went by like that. I suddenly realized I might have fallen hard for you. I started asking around for information about you. I found out you love eating ramen at the first cafeteria. I knew which days you had major classes, and I especially knew you were a massive cat slave. So I specifically went to a stray cat rescue shelter and adopted an orange cat. Even if you hadn't tossed that ring onto my head that day, I would have found an opportunity to secretly leave the cat at your door and then pretend my cat got lost just to run into you. I had to admire this aloof campus belle. Behind the scenes, she was a deeply scheming mastermind. After hearing this long, premeditated confession, is a grown man, I actually felt my face burning up. So it turns out, that day she was being all passive-aggressive about on WeChat was actually referring to the time I bumped into her. But I had long since thrown that memory out the window.
What even is this?
The campus belle completed her own self-conquest entirely through her imagination. After we parted ways at the amusement park, Bai Ningbing said she wouldn't push me and gave me time to think, but right now the thing's stressing me out.
Wasn't whether or not to date her at all.
I was stressing over how to tell her that those 2 overpriced amusement park tickets were actually sold to her by me. I first sent a few ugly photos of Fakai, sleeping like a dead pig, to test the waters. Bai Ningbing replied almost instantly. Have you thought about it? Silently deleted the sentence in the chat box saying, I sold you the tickets, and typed again. Still need a little more time. Bai Ningbing replied domineeringly. Don't let that fat cat on your bed tonight. I bit the bullet and sent a message. Actually, I wanted to confess something to you. You know those 2 tickets you bought with your alt account? That scalper was actually me. This time, the silence on the other end lasted so long it made me panic. After a full 10 minutes, Bai Ningbing finally replied. Isn't that great? It proves we're destined to be a family. Her next voice message clearly carried a hint of fake pity. Classmate Fang Yuan, how much longer are you going to test me? Waiting for your answer. I haven't been able to eat or sleep these past few days. I even caught a cold from the freezing wind at the amusement park. I'm practically wasting away now. At first, I felt a little guilty hearing this, but the more I listened, the more familiar these words sounded. I mercilessly exposed her. Lady, isn't this the exact same script you taught me to trick my mom into keeping Fakai? Bai Ningbing scoffed coldly on the other end. I'm not lying. My current situation is way more pathetic than your stupid cats. I don't know if the word stupid cat triggered a keyword, but Fakai, who had been snoring with all 4 paws in the air, suddenly rolled over and planted his butt precisely right onto my phone screen. No matter how many notification sounds
Bai Ningbing bombarded me with.
Fakai remained as motionless as an old monk in deep meditation. He leisurely lifted his hind leg, licked his fur, and then gave a hard kick, booting my phone straight off the bed. After that, he curled back up with zero guilt, purring contentedly in my arms. 1 person and 1 cat. Somehow managed to create a scene straight out of a harem rivalry. Half an hour later, the lingering ghost that is Bai Ningbing expertly climbed onto my balcony once again and grabbed Fakai by the scruff of his neck. I'm warning you, behave yourself in this house from now on. Know your place in the family hierarchy. Fakai instantly puffed up. Meow. Bai Ningbing furrowed her brows.
You ungrateful little traitor.
Do you even remember who your real mother is? Her response was a swift and fierce meow meow punch from Fakai. Quickly separated the hostile human and cat, forcing them apart, and sighed helplessly. My lady, next time you visit, could you please just use the front door? Hearing this, Bai Ningbing's cold eyes instantly curved into crescents.
You promised that yourself?
I'll have another chance to come over next time. My face darkened. Her ability to miss the point is truly unmatched. I turned to the desk drawer to grab some iodine to disinfect the scratch on the back of her hand. I accidentally caught a glimpse of the peace amulet in the corner. I reached out and touched its red string. Just as I closed the drawer and turned around, I bumped solidly right into Bai Ningbing. Holy crap, are you a cat? How do you walk without making a single sound?
Sorry about that.
She leaned both hands on the edge of the desk behind me. Maybe I caught a cat disease from Fakai. The moment I see you, I just want to stick by your side. I want your eyes to only look at me. That cool, pleasant scent of citrus and mint aggressively invaded my senses. I instinctively raised my hands to push against her shoulders. Lady, your offensive rhythm is way too fierce. As an innocent college guy, I really can't handle this. Bai Ningbing obediently took a half step back. Then classmate Fang Yuan, where do you think our progress bar should be to be considered reasonable? Reasonable my ass. My sluggish brain finally started working again, and I suddenly realized a serious problem. Wait a minute. I haven't even agreed to date her yet. Just as I opened my mouth to argue,
Bai Ningbing
quickly covered my mouth with her hand. Just take pity on this fragile girl who can't eat or sleep because of you, and who even suffered a sneak attack from a vicious cat. Just give in to me already. The spot covered by her palm felt burning hot. My eyes darted everywhere, too afraid to look into hers. It wasn't until I felt my back starting to sweat that I nodded in resignation. Only then did she let go in satisfaction. I quickly added, let's get the ugly truth out of the way first. Fakai and I are surprisingly aligned on this point. If you're dating me, from now on, when you're out, you're not allowed to mess around with any other wild little cats. Bai Ningbing's smile practically reached her ears. I stopped petting them a long time ago. I was just worried you'd think Fakai was too dumb. So I wanted to scout around and see if there were any smarter replacements. I couldn't help but laugh along. Stop dragging him down. Our Fakai is the smartest large orange cat in the whole world. Looking at Fasei's chunky build, I really didn't have the face to use the word little to describe him. Bai Ningbing said dotingly, whatever you say. Then she turned around, ruthlessly picked Fakai up, and tossed him into the cat bed in the living room. Listen to me carefully. From now on, I'm the only one allowed on Fang Yuan's bed. Got it. Fakai was furious. Meow, meow, meow. Right after that, right in front of Bai Ningbing, he brazenly peed right outside his litter box. I held back my laughter so hard my stomach hurt. Bai Ningbing's face darkened, and she was just about to clean house. Right at that moment, the door was pulled open from the outside. My dad froze in the pose of opening the door. Petrified in the doorway, I panicked. Dad, listen to my excuses. It's not what you think. My dad rubbed his eyes, looking completely bewildered. Fang Yuan, tell your dad the truth. Am I hallucinating? How did that big fat orange cat you're raising turn into a living, breathing person? Extra, regarding the incident where Bai Ningbing was mistaken for an orange cat spirit. That day, my dad happened to walk in on Bai Ningbing holding Fakai with one hand.
Fakai,
Looking like a flat cat skin rug, was plastered against her arm, with only his fluffy tail left, swinging wildly in the air. My dad's presbyopia at first glance. He actually thought Bai Ningbing had grown a cat tail. After spending forever explaining this whole magic trick situation, my dad finally collapsed onto the sofa, still shaken.
oh my god.
That almost stopped my old heart. As he spoke, his sharp gaze suddenly locked onto Bai Ningbing. Wait a minute, I haven't asked who this young lady is.
Thank goodness.
My dad finally grasped the core issue. I was just about to brush it off and say she was a classmate, when I saw Bai Ningbing solemnly give my dad a deep 90-degree bow. Hello, uncle. I'm Fang Yuan's girlfriend. My dad's thick eyebrows instantly twisted into a knot. When did this brat start dating behind my back?
How come I didn't hear a peep about this?
Bai Ningbing maintained a perfect, ladylike smile. He just made it official today. My dad immediately turned and glared at me with murderous intent.
You little bastard.
Tell me the truth right now.
What exactly is going on here?
Seeing that things were going south, I quickly reached out and tugged on Bai Ningbing's sleeve. Why don't you head out for today? The smile on Bai Ningbing's face instantly vanished. Her eyes immediately switched to a pitiful, teary mode. Okay, I'll listen to you. I know. You've always felt I wasn't presentable enough, which is why you kept delaying introducing me to your parents. If Uncle hadn't accidentally caught us today, never mind, it doesn't matter. As long as you still have me in your heart. I don't even need an official title. After putting on this tragic performance, Bai Ningbing turned around cleanly and walked out. My head was full of question marks. Before I could even process her manipulative words, I saw my dad with a dark expression, frantically calling my mom. Honey, get back here right now. Your son tricked an innocent young girl, and now he's trying to ditch her. At night, I was chased around the house by my mom, wielding a rolling pin. She was out for blood. Although I was physically unharmed, I suffered a devastating blow mentally. Fang Yuan, when it comes to you dating, your mom and I are very open-minded, but the men in our Fang family must be responsible. Since you've gotten involved with this girl, you have to take responsibility to the end. You can't act like those scumbags who play around and then abandon them. Do you understand? My mom was panting heavily on the side from exhaustion, but still didn't forget to ask for details. Is the girl pretty? My dad slapped his thigh and gave a thumbs up. Her looks are flawless.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Hearing this, my mom finally nodded in satisfaction. Treat the girl better from now on. Don't be so stingy all the time. Bring her home this weekend so I can cook her a good meal to nourish her. I really wanted to cry but had no tears left. At night, I was so mad I pinned Fakai under the covers and cursed Bai Ningbing's ancestors to the 18th generation. Extra 2, Bai Xuan. Not long after Bai Ningbing and I officially started dating, someone actually posted on the confession wall again, relentlessly pestering her. But I never in my wildest dreams imagined that the admin who is constantly stirring up drama on the confession wall every day was actually Bai Xuan. The day Bai Xuan invited me out for coffee alone, right in front of me, he directly pinned a post on the confession wall, officially announcing Bai Ningbing's relationship, along with a clarification of the white moonlight rumor. With this, he not only announced to the whole school that Bai Ningbing was taken and her boyfriend was Fang Yuan, but also took the opportunity to debunk the misunderstanding of her own brother being mistaken for her white moonlight. Bai Xuan elegantly took a sip of his black coffee, resting his chin on one hand, his eyes behind the glasses looking deeply meaningful. Fang Yuan, do you know a piece of trivia? Twins have a magical telepathic connection. We might even be highly likely to fall in love with the exact same person. A cold sweat violently shot down my spine. Bro, don't scare me. You two are blood siblings. Seeing me completely frozen in my seat, Bai Xuan suddenly burst into wild laughter. Ha 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 ha. I'm just messing with you. I don't want my violent sister to put a sack over my head and beat me to death. I could only force a couple of dry laughs to hide my awkwardness. By the way, you're a foreign language major.
Why do you have so much free time?
To run a confession wall on our school forum. Ah? Bai Xuan rolled his eyes in an extremely ungraceful manner. Do you think I actually want to do this boring crap? That was Bai Ningbing holding a knife to my throat, forcing me to spend money to buy it from the previous moderator. She was just afraid she might miss a post of you confessing to her on the wall. I really don't get it. She has a mouth, couldn't she just confess herself?
Why did she have to make it so complicated?
Later, she even forced me to use an alt account to post those misleading messages on the wall, just to test if you'd get jealous. She's an absolutely hopeless romantic fool. After hearing all this, I was completely on my knees in awe. The shocking lengths Bai Ningbing went to set up this massive scheme just to chase someone was unbelievable. This wasn't self-conquest at all. This was clearly her setting a trap for me. But thinking about it carefully, the one who finally broke the ice and confessed first was still her, wasn't it? The thought process of an aloof campus belle, an ordinary guy like me, really can't comprehend it. Extra 3, married life.
Bai Ningbing.
Can you stop bullying Fakai all the time? Early in the morning, I went to the kitchen to pour some water with bedhead like a bird's nest. Just as I stepped out of the bedroom, I saw Fakai, who had been comfortably sleeping next to my pillow last night, once again, ruthlessly tossed back into the cold cat bed in the living room by someone. Seeing me come out, Fakai immediately blinked those big, watery, puppy dog cat eyes, meowing and running up to me to frantically tattle. My heart ached for him. I fed him premium cat treats and opened a luxury can of wet food. After finally getting this little ancestor to calm down, I immediately stormed back into the bedroom to settle the score with Bai Ningbing. She didn't even open her eyes. Sticking a pale arm out from under the covers, she lazily beckoned me over with her finger. I walked over and mercilessly yanked her blanket off. Only then did Bai Ningbing slowly flutter her eyelids open. Stretching out her long arms, she wrapped them around my neck and pulled me right back onto the bed. Hubby, having such a big temper so early in the morning is bad for your health. Don't try to change the subject.
Why do you always have it out for Fakai?
She nuzzled her head into the crook of my neck, her voice carrying a raspy, just woken up tone. We were exploring life so intensely last night. The scenes really weren't suitable for public broadcast. I was just thinking of Fasai's physical and mental well-being. You wouldn't want him corrupting the other cats in the neighborhood. The moment she mentioned the absurd things we did last night, my face instantly flushed bright red. I reached out to push her shoulders. Get up already. I can't get up. The corners of Bai Ningbing's mouth curled into a wickedly playful smile. Or could it be, hubby, that you actually have a special kink? You like it when we're having our deep exchanges? And there's a pair of eyes watching the whole time. I reached back and clamped my hand over her mouth, my face burning red. Shut up. The bedroom door, which had been half open, was blown shut by a gust of wind, locking with a click. Bai Ningbing took the opportunity to flip over and straddle me. Amidst the chaos and heavy breathing, a sense of incongruity flashed through my mind. It felt like I was forgetting something important. Bai Ningbing was extremely dissatisfied with my distraction and bit my shoulder as a punishment.
Focus.
I gasped in a breath of cold air, and that tiny, insignificant doubt was instantly thrown out the window. In the living room, Fakai stared hopelessly. Eat his food bowl, which had long been licked completely clean. Filled with grief and indignation, he swatted the empty premium can of wet food away with one paw. The end. Thanks for watching.